Hello, welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, for the 10th year in a row, the Mopar brand, the parts group inside of the FCA group, is showing off a special edition model inside of the Dodge brand, this time coming out in Challenger form. This is the Mopar 19 Challenger that'll be available very, very soon. Now, this vehicle is powered by the 392 cubic inch 6.4 liter Hemi V8, normally aspirated, making 485 horsepower, 475 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 6-speed manual gearbox or the 8-speed ZF gearbox. 0 to 62 is achieved in just 4.5 seconds with a top speed of 182 miles an hour. Now, the Mopar trim shows off loud and proud with this special graphics package. These things will be exclusively made with the Scat Pack shaker hood option along with hood bins. Gosh, how long has it been since we've seen a production car with hood bins on this particular vehicle? Now, the vehicle comes with a lot of other bespoke goodies, including a lot of Mopar 19 badging, especially all over the interior. Special one-off 20-inch wheels that go on all four corners that are bespoke for this particular machine. The vehicle's available in just two colors, that being pitch black and white knuckle. They're only going to build 100 of these things for the world, 90 of them going to the United States and 10 of them going to Canada with a starting price of $45,835 US, which is a pretty good little bump, about a $6,000 bump over the price of a 392 Scat Pack. But again, they'll sell out really, really quick. Now, FCA has yet to announce just when exactly these things will be hitting dealer showrooms, but I'm assuming you got to head down to your FCA dealership right now if you want to get in line for one of these particular machines and be one of those lucky 100 new owners. Next up on the list, Bugatti. Remember we talked about in the past that they weren't really interested in finding the top speed limits of the Bugatti Chiron, and there was a lot of excuses made and whatnot. And then, I don't know, mid-August, there were some rumblings that they might be thinking about making a top speed run. Well, these were all bold-faced lies because, you know what? At the beginning of August, in fact, August 2nd of 2019, a month before the taping of this particular program, a month before the announcement that they've already made a top speed run. Now, obviously, this particular Chiron, you can tell, has been heavily modified. Thanks to the folks over at Dallara, the race car group. They've done a lot of work on this vehicle, kind of gave it that old McLaren long tail look. Several inches were added onto the rear of this machine. The rear wing was actually lopped off as well, and a lot of extra work, including the folks over at Michelin who've been rapidly working on a tire that can deal with the high speeds of what this thing will be able to produce. And apparently, these Michelin Pilot Cup tires are still road legal, even in this one-off trim. Now, here's the trick. Even though they made this top speed run, which is over 300 miles an hour. In fact, the official lap was 304.77 miles an hour. Yes, the first production car to make it over 300 miles an hour. And the reason for technically they're not building this car. So you can make the excuse that this vehicle isn't a production vehicle. Now, that being said, it could be quite easily and sell quite well if they did make a special edition model of this thing, maybe only a handful of these things. Obviously, this particular bodywork can probably be replicated, whether there'd really be a market for that, but I'm assuming that it wouldn't matter. If you wanted a car that did 300 miles an hour, even though you'd never see 300 miles an hour, you would definitely want, and if you had the funds, be able to get your hands on one. So there's a lot of hypercars that are coming down the pike that are claiming over 300 miles an hour, but apparently Bugatti has done it first. Now, this 304 mile an hour lap was basically, well, it was backed up by tons of stuff, including GPS settings, along with VMAX, data recording, and that high-speed bowl loop over in Germany where this thing took place in the hands of Andy Wallace. They apparently have backed up the number as well, saying that it is totally legit. So, congratulations to the folks over at Bugatti. I don't know why you had to do this little ruse where you said you weren't going to do this, but we're pretty tickled that this thing's actually taken place. So, we'll definitely keep you in tune of what may come out of this deal. Maybe we get a special edition or a limited edition model inside of Bugatti in the Chiron vehicle. So, we'll definitely keep you in tune of what we hear. And for the second time in a row, we've got some sad news. Anthoine Hubert, the French-born Formula driver, was actually racing in Formula 2, passed away at Spa-Francorchamps after a pretty horrific accident just after the top of Radillon, just through En Rouge, in an incident in the FP2 race over the weekend in Spa-Francorchamps. Anthoine was on the fast track. I mean, he'd already won a couple of races, including Monaco this year in his first year inside of Formula 2. Already signed up with a Renault driver development package. This guy was definitely on the fast track to Formula 1. There was a beautiful, touching moment with a moment of silence before the Formula 1 race with all the drivers and crew members, along with Anthoine Hubert's brother and mother who were on for attendance. This was a completely sad situation, a beautiful, touching little moment, which apparently was actually derived over the internets, where the entire fan base, the entire crowd on lap 19 leapt to their feet with a humongous round of applause. 19 was the number of Anthoine Hubert's vehicle that he was racing that particular day in that FP2 race. There was tons of Formula 1 drivers who didn't want anything to do with racing that particular Sunday, including the eventual winner of the Grand Prix, who apparently was a very good friend of Anthoine Hubert. Anthoine Hubert gone way too soon at the age of 22. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Anthoine Hubert. This is a tragic situation. It's been a long time since in the top levels of motorsports we've had a tragic incident, and it's sad to see that this thing had to happen. So Anthoine Hubert, again, passed away at the age of 22. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.